It is this poor state of affairs on roads like Sentema, Salama, Sir Apollo Kagwa and Old Port Bell, among others, that have attracted the ire of city dwellers, with many declaring them unmotorable. Following the outcry, KCCA Executive Director Dorothy Chisaka reassured citizens that the authority has already put in place a plan to rehabilitate and construct more roads within the city.
The roads we are going to rebuild are going to be wider than the current roads. They are going to have drainages, they are going to have walkways, they are going to have street lights.
Chisaka's assurance came as she inspected works on some of the most affected roads on Wednesday this week. With these plans in mind, we sought to find out what exactly goes into constructing a road, and for this we approached Nakawa East MP Ronald Balimwezo. Whereas he is known more for his politics, Balimwezo is also a certified engineer with expert knowledge in road and buildings construction.
It will depend on your cost, on how much you have. It will also depend on the traffic. It will depend on the weather conditions.
This is followed by the type of road to be considered for construction.
What kind of pavement are you going to use? Are you going to use a flexible pavement, or you're going to use a rigid pavement? All have their own advantages and disadvantages. But a flexible pavement is a little cheaper than a rigid pavement, than concrete.
Engineer Balimwezo takes us through the various steps followed in the construction process.
We have this subgrade, we have the subbase, we have the base, we have the wearing course. So all these layers are very, very vital in a road infrastructure.
In Uganda, the roads are normally constructed with a 10 to 15-year lifespan, but majority of them do not make it to this finish line before falling into disrepair. Balimwezo blames this on corruption that he says has consumed the road construction process, leading to poor road construction.
Road may be designed, for example, for the wearing course to be 100 millimeters. But because of corruption, you may find someone making a road of 50. So basically that layer of 50 will wear out easily than a layer of 150. We usually don't want to give them edges, protect the edges with curbs, and they begin deteriorating from that, from the edges.
The absence of a proper drainage channel has also led to flooding, which destroys roads.
Many of our wetlands have been degraded by the so-called rich people. They have constructed arcades there, buildings and so on and so forth. Therefore, it is the filtering media that we had and the catchment for the stormwater, which is no longer existing, and therefore floods happen on our roads. If you don't work on these feeder roads and you leave them earth roads, because majority of them are earth roads, they have no drains, and you have worked on this road very well, so the silt that comes from the other road comes and affects this road.
This is in addition to poor road usage by some motorists.
Most of our cars are old cars, and they usually get problems along the way. And oftentimes the mechanics come and begin repairing them on the road surface. And the oils do not augur well with, oil affects our roads. When demonstrations occur, basically people do burn tires and wood on the road surfaces. And, heat destroys roads.
There are also companies that tend to dig up these roads when they have just been constructed.
You find the national water cutting the road, and it takes long to reinstate the road. So from those cuts, we get our roads getting destroyed.
But Balimwezo also concedes that there are roads that have gone beyond their lifespan, and that is why they are now in a bad state. For this, he argues that it's time government put in place a road fund to support the construction and rehabilitation of roads in Kampala.
Fund was designed to make sure that we do the maintenance of roads countrywide. And this is money from the fuel. So KCCA does not get enough money for maintenance. Neither do we appropriate enough funds as Parliament for road construction in KCCA.
This is in addition to developing other means of transport to reduce the road traffic.
There's heavy trucks from Kenya come and use our roads up to the city. We should use our train to these stations and then use smaller cars to pick the goods from those stations to the respective trading areas, so that we relieve our roads from the heavy traffic.
For now, motorists and city dwellers are hoping that KCCA will fulfill their promises and carry out the much-needed roadworks come February. Joyce Nakato, NTV Weekend Edition.